and welcome to Clearwater Beach for the 4th annual Jose Cuervo Florida Open Professional Beach Volleyball Tournament. Today we're coming to you on the sand behind the Clearwater Beach Holiday Inn Surfside for the men's championship final. The winner of this will go on to the tournament final. The loser of this will play in the loser's bracket to determine if they will come back for the winner's final. Warming up on the court right now, we have the teams of Mike Dodd and Cuervo, the former Olympian gold medalist in 1984, against St. John Smith and Randy Stoklos. Should be a good matchup here for our men's winner's bracket final. The court size is the same as you'll see in any other volleyball, except you have 2 players on each side. We'll be right back with the start of today's first match right after this.
The pain of arthritis can get you down, but now you can help pick yourself up with the Arthritis Foundation's new self-help course. You can learn the latest ways to reduce pain and make yourself feel and live better. The course is available to you right now, so if you have arthritis, help yourself to the Arthritis Foundation's new self-help course and feel better. For details, please call the Arthritis Foundation today.
A very bad thing is happening in this house. And maybe in your house, too. Energy is oozing out of every crack and taking your good money with it. Put a stop to it. A house that saves energy is worth more. So save energy and keep your money where your house is. A message from these organizations and the Alliance to Save Energy. For more information, write the Alliance.
There's a good look at the Jose Cuervo tequila sign. Of course, they are the major sponsors out here today. For the winners finals, we have Dodd and Cuervo versus Smith and Stoklos. With me, I have Richard Chavez, also a player. He's going to help us out. Robert Chavez, let me get your name right. Boy, Robert, I opened up on a good note there. Robert, let's talk about these teams we have for the winners finals this afternoon. Is there a finesse power team out here? A good combination, bad combination?
Well, they're both fine combinations. The power would have to go to Cuervo and Mike Dodd. Dodd at 6'6" is one of the hardest spikers on the beach, and Cuervo, the Olympic star, is also a great hitter. On the other side of the net, we've got Stoklos and Smith. Stoklos, a fine power hitter, and Smith is a great hitter, but he is more of a finesse type hitter than the other 3.
All right, now what about the first serve? How do you determine who gets that first serve?
Well, this goes back to a tradition from way back when beach volleyball was played just in California and for no money and just for fun and for reputation. And what we would do is just pick up a shell or something and put it in either the right hand or the left hand, and then it just simply asks the player to pick the hand, and if the shell's in the hand, they get their choice, and if not, they don't have the choice. And now if it's a windy day, you may choose to not serve first and to take the better side, and depending on how the wind's blowing, for the better side.
We speak about tradition, and we know that beach volleyball started back in the 1950s and really became professionally involved around the late 70s, and now has really blossomed into a 15-stop location tournament for Jose Cuervo all over the country, and as far north as places like Chicago.
That's right. We also stop in New Jersey, Massachusetts, and Colorado, places that you'd never think to find beach volleyball.
It must be a lot of fun to travel around and play this sport, but I know there's a lot of athletic ability involved and a lot of training. There's someone trying to keep cool. We do have very warm temperatures out here, and our players can get very dehydrated if they're not careful. Robert, you were involved with a very long match this morning. I know, 2 hours and 15 minutes, and that's just one game to 15 points.
That's right, and in that match, my partner and I each drank a gallon of water, which shows you how much you have to keep drinking if you want to stay strong and able to perform where you should be.
All right, we're just about ready, I believe, for the start of our match. Who's this on our screen here?
That's Mike Dodd.
6'6".
That's right. Mike's one of the greatest players on the beach today. He's teaming up with Cuervo for the 2nd time. That's Karch right there.
Cuervo, of course, many people recognize him from the 1984 Olympics.
That's St. John Smith you see now. And they're trying to show you Randy Stoklos.
That's his partner.
That's right.
And they are the defending champions, I believe, of this tournament. They won it in 1984.
This year already they've had a second.
This should be an excellent match. Now, the court size here is the same as any other volleyball court you'll ever see. The difference, you have 2 players instead of 6. So they do not specialize in one particular part or aspect of the game, like setting or spiking or passing or serving. They have to be able to do it all. If they don't, then they don't make it this far. Well, it appears that the team, so Smith and Stoklos, will have the first serve.
On the other side, Cuervo, 6'3", 24 years old.
You've got some great players out here with some excellent height. Dodd, perhaps the tallest man on the court, is 6'6". Teamed with Cuervo, who is 6'3".
Stoklos and Smith are both 6'3" or better.
And you were telling me a little earlier, Robert, that Cuervo is probably the best leaper or jumper on the beach circuit.
That's right. He gets up so high, it's hard to believe he's jumping in the sand. He jumps like others do on a gym floor.
We'll keep an eye out for that during today's match.
It'll be interesting to see who Smith decides to serve. Either way, he's going to face a tough spike.
All right, here we go with the first serve. St. John Smith, side out for the team of Smith and Stoklos. You only score points when you are serving.
And they go to Dodd.
Nice spike. And side out will go now to Cuervo and Dodd. We saw the height right there of Dodd.
And that's a smart shot because he's got Randy blocking the line, meaning that St. John's got the cross court, so he had the open court to go to. But it's hard to see that when you're out there. It's hard to see the open area.
Mike Dodd now with the serve. Side out, Dodd and Cuervo. Here's the set and the spike this time.
And that's a great set by Randy Stoklos. He's one of the finest setters on the beach. He took that pass from the middle of the court and put it just about right on the net for St. John.
I also noticed he placed that spike between Cuervo and Dodd. And it was kind of, you take it, I got it. Randy Stoklos with the serve.
To Dodd once again. This time St. John trying to block it. Normally Randy does the blocking on the team of Smith Stoklos.
They are serving at Mike Dodd. Is there a weakness there?
There's no weakness on that team. You've just got to try to see what can happen. Go to both players and...
Side out, Cuervo and Dodd. Here's the set. Smith with the spike. And it was blocked.
And that was a jump serve by Cuervo, which is a relatively new thing on the beach. The players that started to do it a couple of years ago, and this is really the first year that you'll see it on every level of volleyball.
Side out, Smith and Stoklos. Still no score in this first game. First and only. 1 game to 15 points. Cuervo with a nice spike.
And that's why they're going to Mike Dodd. Not out of any weakness by Dodd, but that great hitting by Cuervo.
Mike Dodd will serve now.
Randy has yet to receive a serve. He's also a great spiker.
Once again, they go at Smith. Smith with the spike. And now the side out goes back to Smith and Stoklos.
With the talent of these players, those spikes seem so automatic, but they've really got to work to get out of the sand and to hit the ball. It's not as easy as it looks.
What's the height of the top of that net?
The net's 8 feet high.
I can see that Randy's pointing at something in the sand there.
I think he was trying to adjust the line. The line is a rope, so it can become, if you hit it with your foot, it can become bowed one way or the other. So if you don't check that before the point, it could cost you. An inch can mean so much, and if it's out of place just a bit, it's gonna cost you thousands of dollars possibly. So it's worth checking.
So the boundary line is corrected, and here's the serve.
Back to Dodd.
Dodd spike partially blocked. Smith sets, and a dink.
He's over the net on that, so that's going to be a side out for and Dodd. You can't spike the ball on the other opponent's side of the net. You can't break the plane, which Randy did.
One of the differences between regular volleyball and beach volleyball is that you cannot do that and reach over the net, even if you're not touching the net. So it's side out, and there's still no score. Here's Karai with the serve.
But back to what you said, you can never, even an indoor ball, go over and hit the ball on the other team. You can block, you can reach over the net and block, but you can never go over and spike it on the other side of the net.
Side out, Smith and Stoklos. Karai with the set. Dodd goes up, and a spike. How long does it usually take to volley to get that first point?
Well, that depends on the match, but points are hard to come by. And maybe you get the first point on the first serve, but then it could take you 10 minutes before you get another one.
There is no time limit in this sport. It goes until you score, and we still have none in this game. Here's the set, and the spike this time from Stoklos.
And that's Randy's first serve he received, and he went to the finesse shot.
He really didn't hit that ball very hard. He kind of placed it, didn't he?
That's exactly right. He saw the court, though. He saw where the players were and put it down, making it look easy. But again, it's hard to see where the players are.
Side out, Stoklos and Smith. Here's the set from Dodd. Karai goes up, and a nice spike.
You've got to concentrate on the ball and the other team and so many things that from here it's easy to see the open court. But when you're down there, it seems like there's more than two players on the other side sometimes.
Here's Karch Karai. Side out, Karai and Dodd. No score. Jump serve. Smith spikes. Dodd digs it out. Now the spike back.
There's the point.
Yep. First point of the match goes to Karai and Dodd.
And that was a bad pass by St. John. It wasn't unsettable, but it was not a smooth path. And Randy then set the ball off the net, which is why St. John got dug.
Going to have a little break here for some towels and water. It is very hot out here on Clearwater Beach this afternoon, and I know, Robert, you were talking earlier, you drank 1 gallon of water each, you and your partner, in today's match. And what time of day was it when you played?
Well, we started at 8 a.m. and finished at 10:15, so it was still not even the heat of the day. But it's the humidity forces you to drink so much, and virtually every play you could towel off and get the sweat off your body. But it just becomes you almost give up after a while.
This match, by the way, started around 1:30 p.m. Karai and Dodd with the side out.
There's Randy off the net.
Here's the set. Karai up. Nice job by Stoklos. Smith sets, and it's over.
Oh, my goodness.
A momentary lapse of concentration, and it's going to be side out to Smith and Stoklos. A major error right there.
And both of those digs were, again, caused by sets that were off the net. The players, good spike by Karai, dug by Stoklos because he was so far off the net. The difference can be if you're 5 feet off the net, it's very hard to put the ball away no matter how hard you hit.
1-0 is our score to the team of Karch Karai and Mike Dodd, where you're watching the men's championship final here in the Jose Cuervo Professional Beach Tournament. This is the 4th year that the Jose Cuervo has made the stop here in Clearwater. They have men's and women's competition. Later on this afternoon, we're going to see the tournament final, which will include one of these teams. Whoever wins this, and perhaps both of these teams, have a chance to make it there.
We get a picture of some of the scenery. That's one of the greatest attractions of our sport, is the fact that you can come down and be with the people and just have a day at the beach and also watch some competition.
Here's the serve from St. John Smith. The set by Karai. Dodd with the spike. And it will be side out, Karai and Dodd. Also, you can't beat the price of admission out there.
That was a great hit by Mike Dodd. Very high hit. He hit that well above the net. 2 feet above the net, possibly.
Side out. Here's Dodd serving. And they serve to Stoklos. Smith sets. Stoklos with the spike, partially blocked by Karai. There's Stoklos getting up a little bit over Karch Karai. Total paid attendance here today, 0. That's right, there's no admission charge, but we do have a lot of people out here who are watching for free. Side out to Smith and Stoklos. 1-0 is our score. Karai and Dodd in the lead.
Yeah, I know, it looks good.
Karai sets for Dodd. Here's the spike. Blocked. Nice job. St. John Smith.
He really waited on that and timed it well. That's a great block.
And a point. 1-all on the nice block by St. John Smith.
Randy's going to go back to the jump serve and really try to force the issue.
There's that high jump. Karai sets. Now, here we go again. Ooh, yes. St. John Smith was up high, but I guess he was over the plane of the net.
No, what happened was the ball hit his hands and then went into the net on his side, so it actually did fall on St. John's side.
So deceiving. All right, our score remains 1-1, and it's side out for Karai and Dodd. Karch Karai serving.
Karch is a very intense player. You see him there. He does not joke around when he's on the court. Never. Even during the week you play with him, and he's serious. He's business out there. And it pays off for him because it's the way you've got to be in the game.
Now the serve. Smith sets. Here's Stoklos. Nice spike by Stoklos, and it will be side out.
And you see on that play, Mike Dodd was blocking. Karch Karai faked behind him so that Randy may go to the finesse shot, the cut shot. But then Karch, as he faked, was back into that position. But Randy hit the ball hard, so he couldn't get it. But you do that kind of thing. You fake one way, so if the player looks across the net to see where you are, 1 minute you're one place and the next you're the other.
The movement, the strategy, all a part of the game. Now serving St. John Smith.
It's a nice serve deep.
Here's Karai. Tried to dig it. St. John was down low in the sand, but couldn't dig that one out.
And St. John's one of the best defensive players on the tour.
Score remains 1-1, and it's side out now for Karai and Dodd, with Mike Dodd serving.
And you see the players talk to each other. Karch there talking to Dodd. They tell where they're going to block. They're going to block cross court.
Nice spike here. St. John Smith way up in the air. Side out goes back to Smith and Stoklos.
St. John's showing there that he, although I said he's maybe the finesse player on the court, he's still, without the power, he wouldn't be where he is now. You've got to be able to spike the ball.
You told me he was a smart player also.
Yeah, he really is. He sees the court, and he takes advantage of all his ability.
Randy Stoklos with the serve, the pass, and the set. Dodd up high, and he makes the spike.
That time Dodd just got up too high for St. John. He went over him, which is, in volleyball, it's almost like a slam dunk in basketball. You go over the person, and I'm not going to say it's degrading, but in a sense, in volleyball, it's a tough thing to swallow, a guy hitting the ball over your block.
When he's 6'6", it must be kind of intimidating. You see the sand on the back of Randy Stoklos. The heat, the sand, all a part of the game, along with the sun. And I'm surprised, and maybe you can tell me about this, Robert, why no one actually wears sunglasses when they play. Here's the set from Stoklos. Smith goes up. Karai tries to dig it out, but it's no good. Out of bounds.
Occasionally, we do wear sunglasses, but the benefit is so small as opposed to the cost. If you lose one ball because of the rim of the glasses, it's just not worth it. You can adjust with your eyes to the sun, and you just have to bear it because you cannot have any kind of blind spot.
Here's a very high lob serve from St. John Smith. The set from Karai. Dodd goes up.
Over the block again with the off speed that time. That's what we call a sky ball. That's the term for
That's what it looks like.
And as you mentioned, the sun. That's the idea, is to put it high up in the sun, and hopefully the player will lose the ball. Another reason for the sky ball is when it's very windy. We'll put the ball high in the air and have it move around up there. And today it's not too windy, so the sky ball is probably just something to try to break up the pattern that they develop, just pass set. You want to do something to change them up a bit.
Side out. Smith and Karai. Well, what do we say here?
That was just long.
So Mike Dodd had a little too much on the serve. He's going to take a closer look at it, maybe say something to the referee, but it's going to be side out for Smith and Stoklos.
Fine eye by St. John on that play.
Stoklos serves at Dodd. Here comes the set from Karai. Dodd once again way up in the air.
But he hit that wide.
So the point will go to Smith and Stoklos. They now lead 2-1.
Now you notice on the court, Karch that time used his hands to set, as opposed to bumping the ball with his arms. Many players bump because they don't have that skill. but Karch and Randy both have that skill. Here he is again. That's a tough pass to set with your hands.
Dodd dinks it over the head of St. John Smith. St. John really wasn't looking for that one.
They've called Mike Dodd over the net on that. And reached over.
Oh, great. Another point then. And now we're going to have a conversation with the referee. Karch Karai now approaching the ref. And a towel. So it's 3 points to 1. The team of St. John Smith and Randy Stoklos out in front of Karch Karai and Mike Dodd. Excellent play so far. How would you go about describing these two teams and what we've seen so far, Robert? Is this typical of what you expected?
Well, actually, I would expect Karch and Dodd to side out better. They've given up the few points. I say better, they've done well. They side out almost every play. But this game is such a game of perfection that a couple errors and you're having a bad game. And Mike Dodd hit the ball cross-court out, and then on that play, it didn't appear that he had to go over the net. And what I mean by that is that he had room to swing and put the ball away without reaching over. And that's an error that he's not likely to make very often.
We're ready to resume play now. The side out goes to Smith and Stoklos. They lead the match 3-1. We're playing to 15. There's the jump serve from Randy Stoklos. Here's the set by Karai. Dodd once again partially blocked by Smith.
And that's a great hand set. Oh, great hand set by Randy Stoklos. The ball's spinning like a top, and to put it out clean like that is really a tough thing to do. And the reason it's such a risk is that if you do mishandle the ball with your hands, that's automatically a violation and a point to the other side. So many players choose to do the safe thing and bump it.
Karch Karai with the serve. Side
There's
out.
the bump set.
Yeah, and the spike.
You can't be called for a violation on the bump set. You may make a bad set, but it's not a violation, so the play continues. But with a hand set, if you mishandle it, it's the same as if you hit the net or hit the ball out of play for that matter.
The term is called a throw, and the referee determines that you had handled the ball too long or touched it for or just not with the fingertips,
or double hit it.
There's a hard spike right over the block of Randy Stoklos by Mike Dodd. It will be side out, Dodd and Karai. 3-1 is our score. Robert, what about timeouts where you can towel off and get some water? Is there a limit to how much or how often you can do it?
Well, each team has 2 1-minute timeouts per match. There's a nice block.
Karai was up high. Stoklos
way off the net, but Randy hit that ball from 8 feet off the net. But as far as toweling off and getting water, that's really the custom in the sport, is to allow that within reason. And that's been some problem. Sometimes you'll find that one person's definition of reasonable is not the same as the others. But in this kind of heat, the players realize that everyone needs water, everyone needs a towel off. You get the ball wet, it's tough to play with. So we're pretty sympathetic to each other, wiping off and having a drink. Because without that water, you'd find players cramping, and no one wants to see that. That's, every player has experienced it, and it's not a nice thing to have happen.
How about the volleyball that's used for beach volleyball? I know it's a heavier ball.
Yeah, it's heavier than the indoor ball, and it's a softer ball.
Stoklos with the serve. Karai sets for Dodd. Blocked. St. John Smith gets up high, blocks it out of bounds, however, so it's side out to Dodd and Karai. St. John Smith really amazes me at how far he can get up in the air.
Yeah, he's a good jumper also.
Karch Karai now serving.
That's just long, but that's what they've got to do. They've got to serve tougher. These players are so good, they can all pass, set, and hit so well that you've got to make a tough serve in order to get them off balance so you can have an opportunity to dig the ball.
Side out goes back to St. John Smith with the serve. Here's Karai setting for Dodd. Dodd's spike partially blocked off the hands of Stoklos, so the ball goes back.
And that's a great hit. He's 4 or 5 feet off the net and still hitting down with that ball. It's a tough thing to do.
Now Dodd and Karai with a little discussion. Mike Dodd will serve. 3-1. Karai and Dodd on the short end of the score. Stoklos.
There's a way off set. Great play by Karch.
He runs into Dodd. Dodd still dinks it over the net. Now St. John Smith with the set.
Again,
here's the pass and the set. Karai with the spike. And it's 3-2. The point goes to Karai and Dodd. We had a good volley right there.
Yeah, and that was caused by St. John Smith setting the ball off the net. No matter who you are, it's tough to put the ball away off the net.
He had set it, what, about 4 or 5 feet away.
That's right. And the reason he's not trying to put it too close is the block. You don't want to put the ball right on the net with the block up, or you're forced to hit it into the block, and obviously bad things will happen from an offensive standpoint. But he put it off too far. You want to put it off 1-2 feet off the net, and as you say, put it 4 or 5 feet, and that's why Karch was able to get a piece of that ball and set it up for Mike Dodd.
3-2 is our score, and we're going to have more volleyball coming right up. Right now, I'd like to tell you a little bit about the tournament. They're going to all over the country with first place prize here, $5,600 to the winning team. That's got to be some real incentive for these players. How has the tournament and the money increased and progressed since you started, Robert?
Well, when I started back in '78, there was, say, one tournament a year for $5,000 total purse. So the money has gone up now. There's somewhat $300,000 on the tour.
All right, the players have switched sides now. Mike Dodd serving. Smith sets. Stoklos blocked by Karai, out of bounds.
And that was a fine set by St. John right there.
When do you determine when the teams will cross sides of the court?
Every 5 points. Every multiple of 5. So say 3-2, 5-0, 10 all.
And our score is 3-2. Smith and Stoklos with the lead, and it's side out. Randy Stoklos serving. Here's that jump serve once again. The set by Smith, and a dink.
Nice save by Dodd to keep the ball in play, and that was the serve that they've got to have if they want to score points against either of these teams. They're so good.